Hello everyone, and welcome to my GH Soap Opera Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Friends and family of Luke gather to celebrate his life as Lulu realizes she will never get the chance to grieve her father. Lulu, Laura, Tracy, Sonny, Carly, and Liz gather today on General Hospital to honor Luke Spencer. While frantically scouring her home, Lulu discovers her phone behind the coffee table and then spots something beneath her bookcase. She's brought to tears by the old photo of Luke. After Aiden passed his driver's test, Liz drops into Laura's workplace to tell her the good news. All he talks about these days is his obsession with getting the proper automobile. Laura believes he gets that from Luke. After Sonny drops Donna off at school, he swings by Carly's house to pick up her lunchbox because Donna forgot it. Sonny finds a gambling chip on the kitchen island that Carly thinks Donna discovered, and it reminds him of Luke. Lulu hurries over to the Quartermains to hug Tracy, who wonders what is wrong. Lulu gives her the photo of Luke she discovered, and Tracy realizes she never got to grieve her father, so they will remember her dad today. Luke is on everyone's mind. Laura has her secretary reschedule some of her later meetings as she'll be out of the office, and to remember her to send her grandson Aiden his birthday gift early, as he's saving for a vehicle. As soon as Lulu and Tracy get at the church, she knows it won't feel like her dad's church. They leave after Tracy laughs at herself for telling her so. After Tracy extinguishes the light that Lulu had lit, she glances up and exclaims, "I know, I know." In Carly's kitchen, Sonny reflects on the first time he met Luke and how angry he was at Sonny for showing up at his house, where his family lived. Sonny tells Carly that Lulu was more than his buddy, he was his brother. Carly recalls how much her mother adored him, but she wasn't always on great terms with her uncle. She recalls Luke once attempting to get her to transfer YLQ shares to him. Outside the chapel, Tracy and Lulu ponder about Tracy waking up with a hangover at a casino hotel to learn she had married Luke. That gives Tracy an idea. Remembering Luke, Carly informs Sonny that she needs to hurry to Bobby's, and he has to fetch Donna her lunch. They say farewell, and Sonny pockets the poker chip. Lulu and Tracy come up at the Brown Dog, which is closed. Tracy pays off the owner to let them stay, vowing not to allow anyone in. The guy puts on his jacket and walks out. We see the name on his jacket is Luke. Laura travels to church to reminisce on Luke and recalls Lulu's birth and how they agreed on the name Leslie Lou. She knows he's not here with them on Earth anymore, but he never left her once, and she feels him when life becomes too hard. It's his voice she hears calling her angel and reminding her who she is. Laura laments that what they had never ended for her, it merely altered, and their hearts are tied beyond even this lifetime. She thanks him for the dance, the journey, and the love of a lifetime. Drinking to Luke at the bar, Tracy and Lulu toast to Luke. Tracy recalls when Luke was in the ICU after his third heart attack, and he wouldn't stop living his life on the edge. The girls soon realize honoring Luke by drinking probably isn't the finest method, considering his alcohol problems. Laura walks over Bobby's, where Carly pours her some coffee. Both had been thinking about Luke, and Laura chuckles. Maybe it's something in the air today. Sonny stops by the Brown Dog, having noticed Lulu's car out front, and feared maybe they got into difficulties. Tracy reveals they are celebrating Luke, and Lulu encourages him to join them. Getting the gang together, Laura praises Carly for keeping the diner operating, since it was so important to Bobby and Luke. Laura recalls Luke working in the kitchen and her imploring him to face her, as she still loved him and still wanted to be his wife. Laura then gets a text from Lulu. While in the hospital, Liz gets a text and tells a nurse she's taking off a few minutes early because she needs to get somewhere. At the bar, Lulu, Tracy, and Sonny chuckle over all the problems Luke got into and never paid for, as he was so charming. Laura arrives to join them and tells Lulu that her dad would have felt right at home here. Back at Bobby's, Carly goes out, stares at the sign, and muses about Luke hailing her as a real Spencer. She then gets a text, and somehow, the poker chip ends up in her purse. A final send-off as the gang keeps exchanging memories. Laura goes back to her and Luke's wedding. Carly soon arrives, having gotten Sonny's text, and discovers what is going on. She wonders why Sonny placed the chip in her handbag, but he didn't. Liz then joins the party. Sonny brings up how some cultures honor lost loved ones, and recalls learning about one that floats lanterns out to sea. Everyone soon comes at the pier to lay candles in the sea as Laura tells Lulu how often she feels Luke with her. They all pour some whiskey and toast to Luke. Sonny believes he's reconnected with his beloved haunted star and is constantly rolling sevens. Lulu screams, "This feels right," and thanks Tracy. Lulu then looks out and sees a glimpse of her dad going away and into the light. This is really from one of his last shows as he left Port Charles. Lulu responds, "Goodbye, Dad." In the show's final moments on the dock, Sonny recalls Luke leaving Sonny his cherished revolver as he was walking away from that life. Liz walks home and recalls preparing brownies to cheer Luke happy and asking him to join her as his date to the GH Christmas celebration. She then notices Aiden's vehicle magazine and checks through it. Laura goes to her workplace and sees that her secretary placed a car-themed card for Aiden on her desk. It makes her remember about Luke and his convertible, and when they pretended she was in labor while the cops pulled them over. She then recalls dancing with him again and time again. At Bobby's, Carly glances at her mom's name on the menu and then recalls Luke staying for free at the Metro Court, where he was hiding out from his enemies, and that they bickered that he was overstaying his welcome. Tracy sits by the fire at home, sipping tea, and stares at a photo of her mother. She continues, "We sure knew how to pick them, didn't we, Mother?" She recalls Luke telling her that they were a perfect match and just worked, and proposing to her properly. Tracy ends up in tears. And tears, I'd do it all over again. Finally at home, Lulu has framed the photo she discovered of her dad and sets it on the mantel, then looks back on his assuring her that she'll always be his baby girl. The poker chip winds up in her pocket, and she praises her dad for giving her his luck and love. She places the chip next to his photo. On the next General Hospital, Nathan and Maxie speak about what's next. Rick gives Alexis an update on the case of Drew's shooting, and Michael decks Chase. General Hospital spoilers Monday, February 23rd. Michael decks Chase, Wiley complains to Willow, Nathan questions Maxie. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, February 23rd, state that Michael Corinthos will strike a vindictive blow while Wiley Corinthos makes an alarming revelation. Nathan West will also interrogate Maxie Jones and attempt to figure out where her brain is at, so here's what fans should expect. For starters, Nathan and Maxie will have a lot to speak about now that he's returned from the grave and she's out of a coma. It'll leave Nathan wondering what all that means for them, but Maxie may not have an answer for him just yet. Over with Damian Spinelli, he'll chat to Lulu Spencer about a fight that he's not eager to engage. Lulu expected Spinelli would stand aside for Nathan and Maxie's reunion, but Brooke Lynn Quartermaine recently urged him to give Maxie an opportunity to choose for herself. Spinelli may adhere to that plan, but he might also tell Lulu that he won't stand in the way if Maxie genuinely wants Nathan. At Willow Kane's house, Wiley will seem sad as he reveals he doesn't enjoy it there. Willow may think Wiley just needs some time to get acclimated to living someplace except the Quartermaine home again, but he may be freaked off by Drew Kane in the next room. If Wiley begs to go home to Michael, it might place Willow in a tough spot. Willow may try her best to calm Wiley down and get him through the night as she's determined to restore her life with her children. At Brown Dog Bar, it appears like Jocelyn Jacks will embark on another fishing adventure. Someone won't like Jocelyn's line of inquiry and will encourage her to back off, so she'll suggest they may consider it dropped. However, Jocelyn will continue researching regardless and might get in hot water as a result. In the meantime, ADA Justine Turner will warn Dante Falconeri that if they make another incorrect move, heads will roll. This whole issue with Michael's key will leave Turner and Dante with a lot to chew over, especially since Rick Lansing reported an eyewitness who observed Harrison Chase touching Michael's keychain. Rick will finally pay Alexis Davis a visit to discuss the latest developments in Drew's case, so she'll hear what just went on at the police station. Michael will presumably presume Chase set him up, so he'll return to the Quartermaine home and deck him on Monday's GH episode. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine will watch in terror as Michael takes a tremendous punch at her spouse. General Hospital spoilers state Chase will have some explaining to do, so Brooke Lynn isn't going to like what she hears next. General Hospital spoilers, Valentine's hideout exposed, Charlotte blames Danny? General Hospital teasers reveal that Valentine Cassadine won't be able to keep his whereabouts under wraps permanently. Valentine's refuge might be on the edge of exposure, so will Charlotte Cassadine hold Danny Morgan accountable when the information comes out? GH viewers will recall that Charlotte strongly defended Danny during her previous Valentine visit. Valentine wasn't pleased to find Danny was now in the loop on his whereabouts, but Charlotte convinced her dad that they could trust him. Although Valentine is delighted Charlotte has someone to lean on, he's still leery of too many people knowing where he is. That's especially true since Valentine can't foresee how Danny could behave if he's under WSB strain. It felt like the show was laying the scenario for Charlotte to end up unhappy and dissatisfied. This may be leading to a situation where Charlotte gets blindsided and thinks Danny has truly betrayed her. Danny and Charlotte have only shared one kiss at this point, but it's evident that Danny's like her and would like to see where this leads. Unfortunately, Charlotte might pump the brakes if she leaps to the wrong conclusion and believes Danny has divulged Valentine's refuge. In actuality, someone like Rocco Falconeri could possibly be to blame. Ross Cullum continues cropping up around Rocco and might ultimately utilize him as a source of intelligence, even if it means snooping without his awareness. There's also Jack Brennan, who could feel Rocco could be the way to uncovering what Charlotte's hiding. Brennan may get sly by eavesdropping, listening devices, or some other method of observing Rocco's conversations. Rocco may not try to cause trouble, but he might be the trigger nonetheless if he's somehow the source of the leak. Charlotte might have it all wrong if she blames Danny for yielding to pressure and ratting Valentine out. Since Danny and Charlotte are second cousins once removed, lots of fans are a little weirded out by their relationship and would rather see them split up. GH writers might kill Danny and Charlotte over the turmoil ahead, but it seems more probable that they'll overcome the stress soon. No matter how it all goes down, Carly and Valentine may have some awful news brewing if it comes out that she's been hiding a fugitive. General Hospital spoilers predict the youthful turmoil might collide with far greater troubles for Valentine and Carly, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers: Peter is alive, and someone in Port Charles already knows it. General Hospital spoilers suggest Peter August is alive and well, and somebody already knows it but has been keeping it hidden for years. Who it might be isn't a hard guess. The last time that Peter was playing games with the various minds of Port Charles, Valentine Cassadine was helping him do it. This time around, Valentine might have learnt his lesson about being more smart with his relationships, but he retains a pretty good pulse on the comings and goings in the underbelly of his home city. I would assume that he would maintain eyes on Peter, seemingly even posthumously. Recall that Felicia Scorpio went at the guy with a tire iron and took him out. Somehow, that evidently didn't stay. Given Nathan West and Britt Westbourne just coming back from the tomb, it's not all that hard to believe. Will Valentine aid him, or hang him out to dry? An eye for an eye. Valentine is nothing if not strategic. He is constantly looking out for number one. He won't shoot himself in the foot simply to blow the whistle on someone. After all, there may be some moment in the future when he can use what he knows about that person to obtain what he wants in some other method. That's how Cassadines think. So if Peter is alive, and Valentine knows it, you can guarantee that he's planning on cashing it in for something at some time. Carly hasn't connected the dots. Carly apparently isn't questioning Valentine for every link he has that she may not approve of. Rather, she's depending on him to keep her aware of whatever is important for her to know, and trusting that they're in this plot to take down Jack Brennan together. It's never entered her mind that he had other spinning plates moving about the city that may blow back on them. Should that happen, the closer that she crawls into the tombs on Spoon Island, would Valentine throw her to the wolves, or rush to her rescue? A crisis of conscience? Valentine may still have a peculiar sweet spot for Peter. Remember, he's the one who delivered Peter to Caesar Faison, and he long regretted that decision, especially when it came to Anna Devane's convoluted involvement in Peter's life. If those past demons are still plaguing Valentine, he could struggle to know where his allegiance lay. At the same time, he's forming quite a connection with Carly, and some would argue there is chemistry in the mix. What wouldn't Valentine do for the right girl? Who on General Hospital gets your vote, Alexis or Willow? Drew's congressional seat is up for grabs. Drew is crippled on General Hospital. He hasn't formally stepped down as a congressman, but Mayor Laura is already trying to replace him with his ex-mother-in-law, Alexis. But other Port Charles powers would love to see Willow take up her fiancé's responsibilities. Which woman will receive your vote? And why this is the most realistic soap election ever. Key takeaways: Alexis is a hypocrite and a kidnapper, and an embezzler. Willow is an attempted killer and an ex-cult member. They're both ideal for politics. That's not how it works. There is so much wrong with this Port Charles special election for Drew's congressional seat that we're not even going to get into it. After all, this is also the town where Laura became mayor because her grandson interfered with the ballots. This is after her ex-mobster ex-husband won mayor, then gave the job over to the person who came in second to him in the race because, why not? So the only truth we're going to lean into is why both Alexis and Willow are excellent for politics. Lying liars who lie and the woman who pretends she doesn't. Alexis puts herself up as the ideal of morality. She even informed Laura she won't go against her values in campaigning for politics. Alexis' morals include protecting many a gangster, taking money from a baby, covering up her daughter's misdeeds, and kidnapping a guy, holding him captive under her own house. Oh, and she also spilled the beans about Olivia's son's parentage and has lost her license to practice law, among other smaller offenses. Alexis is a hypocrite of the greatest order, which means she'll have no issue spouting all the falsehoods politicians are obliged to utter in order to deceive voters into thinking she cares about them in the least. Past, present, future smooth criminal Willow tried to assassinate Drew. Willow is now injecting Drew with a medication to keep him immobile. Willow has gone fully over the bend. But that's not what will make her the ideal politician. What will make Willow the ideal politician is that she was reared in a cult. Politics is a cult. Willow understands how to influence others into thinking that what she wants them to do is what they themselves want to do. She'll be ideal for politics. Luke's ghost, poker chips and bar bribes, Anthony Geary remembered. After Lulu Spencer came upon an old photo of Luke, she got distraught and found up falling into Tracy Quartermain's arms at the Quartermain estate. Tracy knew this was about Luke and resolved to help Lulu grieve him properly, since she never got an opportunity to. Luke died while Lulu was in a coma, so Tracy set out to assist her cope with her sorrow and respect his memory. Lulu lit a light in the church and sat on a seat with Tracy momentarily, but she ultimately concluded this didn't seem right. Churches weren't Luke's thing, so Tracy ended up paying the man at Brown Dog Bar to allow them have the place to themselves before it opened. While Lulu and Tracy had a drink for Luke, Sonny Corinthos came by Carly Spencer's apartment to get up something Donna Corinthos had forgotten. Since Donna had found a poker chip earlier, that led to Carly and Sonny reminiscing about Luke. Sonny took the poker chip with him, but Carly was astonished when another one arrived in her handbag later. In Laura Collins' office, Elizabeth Baldwin talked to her about Aidan Weber receiving his license and being preoccupied with choosing out the right automobile, thus Laura felt he inherited that love of cars from Luke. Once Luke was in Laura's mind, she ended herself at the church and looked back on their love story. Laura sadly acknowledged Luke had never left her since she still felt his presence, so she thanked him for the love of a lifetime. At Bobby's, Laura walked over and chatted with Carly, so they realized they'd both been thinking about Luke and wondered why. However, Laura advised it didn't have to be a specific event to remember someone you loved and lost. After Sonny noticed Lulu's vehicle outside Brown Dog Bar, he walked inside to check on her. Lulu was still celebrating Luke's life with Tracy, so Sonny joined them for a drink and more reminiscing. Carly, Elizabeth and Laura all landed at the bar as well after getting texts on Friday's GH episode. The whole crew reminisced back on Luke's seconds before Sonny described an old ritual of releasing lanterns in memory of someone. Tracy evidently arranged for some lanterns on her phone since they all walked to the pier, where illuminated lanterns were definitely hung in the sea. Laura advised Lulu about her farewell to Luke being more of a see you later, so that's what Lulu said to Luke's ghost in the fog. After Luke's loved ones drank one more whiskey toast to Luke, Laura went to her office and heard her assistant had picked up an early birthday card for Aidan. Once Laura looked at it, she noticed the automobile on the front looked like the antique one Luke drove. Laura, Liz, Carly, Sonny and Tracy all experienced distinct Luke flashbacks as Lulu headed home. Lulu placed Luke's framed portrait out before finding a poker chip in her pocket. After Lulu praised Luke for his luck and love, she placed the poker chip next to his photo. General Hospital spoilers suggest the usual action will continue in Port Charles now that Luke's special episode is finished, but that was definitely a nice homage to Luke and the late Anthony Geary. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel without missing any update.